Suppose we've run the code k gets 5. What this line of code has done is created a new variable called k and assigned to it the value 5. If I wanted to see what the value of k was, I could just type in k and the Python interpreter would output 5. Now suppose I want to write an assignment statement that creates a new variable j that refers to 3 times the value that k refers to. I can enter j gets 3 times k. And notice the different parts of this statement. J is a new variable that gets assigned the value 3 times k. So I can execute this line and then ask the Python interpreter to evaluate j, and I get 15, which is 3 times the value that k refers to. Now consider this code. X gets 4, y gets 5, and x gets 2. Now the question is, what value does x refer to? 4 or 2? Here, the important thing to remember is that statements in Python are executed one by one sequentially, and that assignment statements can change the values of variables. After this first line of code, x refers to the value 4. But after the third line of code, x refers to the value 2. And that means that at this point in time, x refers to 2. What about y? Well, that's a bit easier because y only gets assigned to a value once. And so if I hit enter here, I should see 5. Let's go over that example using the Python visualizer. I've typed in the same 3 lines of code, and now I'm going to execute them one by one. So after the first line, I see that I have a variable x, and it refers to the value 4. After the second line, a new variable is created called y, and it refers to 5. And notice the x hasn't disappeared. The variable x still refers to 4. However, after the third line of code, x is assigned a new value. And note that the y variable hasn't changed. Now let's go back and look at one more exercise. Consider the code x gets 4, y gets x plus 2, and x gets y plus 1. Now this is a bit trickier because we see 2 lines that involve both variables. So once again, the important thing to remember is that Python executes the 3 lines one by one. After the very first line, x refers to the value 4. And after the second line, a new variable y is created, referring to x plus 2. And at this point in the program, x refers to 4, and that means that y gets assigned the value 6. And after the third line in the program, we know that y refers to 6, and so x gets assigned the value 6 plus 1, which is 7. And that means if I ask the interpreter what is the value of x, it'll output 7. Notice that this line of code doesn't change the value y points to. And so the value of y is determined by this line. Now, a very common mistake that students might make here is to say x refers to 7, y refers to x plus 2, so y should refer to 9. But that's incorrect, because remember, at this line, x still refers to 4, because that's the only thing that's happened so far, x being assigned the value 4. And so y really refers to 6. Let's see that again in the Python visualizer. After the first line, x has value 4, and after the second line, y gets assigned the value of 6, because that's, again, x, which refers to 4, plus 2. Stepping through the last line of code, x gets a new value, 7. And I know I'm repeating myself here, but it's quite important. The value y refers to has not been changed. Only the variable on the left side of the assignment statement is changed. Awesome.